Ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe to this channel right now. I will have a live stream at around 5 p.m., 4 p.m. Eastern, around 1 p.m., 2 p.m. Pacific time. Please be here for the live stream. Happy New Year, everybody. God bless you all, and thank you for watching. Donald Trump is crushing it in the GOP polls for the nomination. He's also up over mashed potato brains, our president, by 1 to 2 points. In some polls, he's over, surpassing Biden by 8 points. That's with 100%, virtually 100% negative media coverage. Literally almost 100% negative media coverage. Think about that for a second. There is not a person on the planet who could win anything, a contest for mayor of a small town, with almost 100% negative media coverage. But Trump is like the Obi-Wan Kenobi of politics. It really doesn't matter. He doesn't need media. Okay, that's why a person like Chris Christie or other Republicans, Nikki Haley as well, and DeSantis, we'll get to DeSantis in 1 second, need media. To an extent, DeSantis actually is similar to Trump in that he's okay with not kowtowing to media pressure. That's good. But we'll get to DeSantis in 1 second. He's going to eventually drop out. He's essentially dropped out. So is Nikki Haley. They both stated they would pardon Trump. Trump is being the target of, it has been the target of politically motivated, absurd indictments and charges. The Supreme Court will overturn the Maine and Colorado decisions to keep him off the ballot. These are the authoritarians and totalitarians within the Democratic Party, the wonderful, morally superior, highly educated, who are so fearful of Trump. They're doing everything possible, accusing him of overthrowing the government, which we'd have to be a complete imbecile to believe. And stating that, well, you know what, he tried to rebel against the country. You'd have to be really stupid to think that a speech where he contested results, he had the right to disagree with Democrats. He had every single right to say that he did not trust Democrats after what they did to Bernie Sanders. And just, I mean, you'd have to know a little something about Tammany Hall and the history of the Democratic Party. Republicans, too, have done the same things, but not to the extent of the Tammany Hall Democratic Party that extends to 2016 with Bernie Sanders, where another country had to infiltrate their servers to inform you that they cheated Bernie Sanders. So, yeah, Trump was not, he didn't agree or believe that winning Florida and Ohio that night meant that he was so unpopular that he lost, days or weeks later. Anyway, that's his. Trump had a right to give a speech to his constituents. He was still president. Okay? The Supreme Court's going to overturn that, and the Supreme Court will overturn every conviction. He'll be convicted, which is why DeSantis and Haley and Chris Christie and others, Ramaswamy is great. I don't agree with him on everything, but he's very, very, very good. RFK Jr. is great. Tulsi Gabbard is fantastic. Okay, Trump, like the people I mentioned, Trump is his own man. Now, getting to DeSantis, 4 minutes in, he's essentially already dropped out with Nikki Haley. This is all theater, ladies and gentlemen. If a person doesn't like the headline, it's like, well, it's theater. You really think that DeSantis and Haley believe they're going to win? They stated they're going to pardon Trump because they know they have no chance, and they're apologizing to Trump. Okay, these are politicians who took a gamble and said, let's go ahead and see if the tables turn and Republican voters move away from Trump after he's indicted with 91 criminal charges. He's only been more popular. And I'll explain that at the live stream this evening, or the early evening, afternoon. Excuse me. At around like I said, 5 p.m. Pacific time, or sorry, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern or so, around there. Be here for the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. Our live streams are awesome. And I'm going to probably have another live stream later this evening or an upload. But I'll be doing 3 to 4 segments a day, every day, religiously on this channel like I used to do for years and years and years. 2024 is going to be an amazing time in U.S. history. Now, DeSantis, and you could tell people 5 minutes, 30 seconds in, I'm focusing now on DeSantis. DeSantis almost ruined his political career. Okay, Nikki Haley not so much, because Nikki Haley is more of an establishment individual. DeSantis, instead of backing Trump like Ramaswamy was doing, Ramaswamy and DeSantis have gone in opposite directions. One is rocketing to stardom in Vivek Ramaswamy, and the other is plummeting after a disastrous, failed, miserable campaign for president. Okay, Ron DeSantis is the favorite of people who love Trump's policies, but think that the media would give better coverage to someone less divisive. Because DeSantis fans, or people who like DeSantis, believe he's less divisive, and he's less abrasive, and he's less belligerent, and he's more presidential. But the reality is, DeSantis was always Trump light. He was like Trump. That's why he was popular. He stood up to media. He stood up to Democrats. He didn't care what people thought of him. And he didn't care what Republicans, traditional Republicans, thought of him, who don't want to ever do anything they say. He's against he claimed that he was against, well, who knows? Trump is against never-ending military conflict. So is Tulsi Gabbard, Ramaswamy, RFK Jr. I vote against never-ending military conflict. I'm anti-war. Okay, I'm not like a Democrat or a far-left person that loves military conflict when a Democrat, or, kind of does it. It's not a deal breaker for that person. It's a deal breaker for me. Democrats are the hawkish militant foreign policy advocates. The Lincoln Project neoconservatives are voting Democrat. Okay? Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld, the old regime of Republicans, are voting Democrat. This isn't difficult to understand for people who despise Trump. If you despise Trump and you happen to stumble upon this channel, the reason you do is because you don't care that the Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld Republicans vote for Biden or Clinton. You don't care. I do. I don't want never-ending military conflict. Biden's already sending Americans to Europe. Okay? Trump would never do this. And that's the moral choice. Trump is the moral. It is immoral not to vote for Trump, because you are voting for never-ending military conflict if you vote for Democrats. But then again, Democrats are secretive. Many are morally superior, secretive hawks and militant, foreign policy advocates. They don't think they are, because they look in the mirror and say, everyone loves me. I'm on the right side of history. I'm fighting for justice and truth. And at the end of the day, the Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld Republicans vote alongside the far left socialists and democratic socialists and communists who vote for Democrats. So that's the reason Trump is up by 60 plus points over DeSantis. This is an old poll. DeSantis is down like 10-9. He's tied with Haley, below Haley. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. DeSantis really, instead of backing him, went after him. And he didn't have the political capital to do so. He messed up. I mean, you got to show some loyalty, to the public for Trump, who Trump really made DeSantis. And DeSantis did some good things in Florida. But Trump made DeSantis, and then DeSantis said, okay, I'm going to see what I can get if he gets indicted, and it didn't work out. Hit subscribe. Be here for the live stream at around 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. Thanks, everybody.